This lesson is on solving two-step equations. And what you need to remember when you're solving two-step equations is that you're always going to add or subtract first. And then your last step is always to multiply or to divide. So let's take a look at letter A. Letter A says 2x plus 3 equals 9. So according to my directions up here, we're going to add or subtract first. So that means I'm going to go ahead, again, I'm still thinking to myself, what do I need to do to get rid of everything on the side of the equal sign that has the x? So I need to get rid of the 2 and I need to get rid of the 3. I know I'm going to add or subtract first. So that means I will subtract 3 first. And then we're left with 2x equals 9 minus 3 is 6. And then finally, we will go ahead and divide, and we will get x equals 3. Letter B, same thing here. We need to get x by itself. We need to get rid of the 3 and the 2. This time, we're going to get rid of the 2 first by subtracting 2 from both sides. We're left with 3x equals 23 minus 2 is 21. And divide by 3, we will get x equals 7. Letter C. Letter C, we need to get rid of the negative 2 and the negative 7. To get rid of a minus 7, we're going to add 7 to both sides. So the 7s are gone. We're left with negative 2y equals 10. And we will divide by negative 2 on both sides. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and we have one negative sign. Letter D. Letter D, we have r on the left-hand side. We need to get rid of 1/5, and we need to get rid of the 4. Okay, the 4 is positive, so to get rid of the 4, I'm going to subtract. I'm going to have 1/5 r left on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, I have negative 1 and negative 4. That would be same sign sum. So 1 and 4 is 5, and they're both negative. Okay, when we're adding or subtracting, we always take the bigger sign of the bigger number. 4 is bigger than 1, and that sign is negative. And then here, I need to get rid of this 1/5. Remember, this is just like the last lesson. We're going to clear the fraction, and we do that by multiplying by its reciprocal. Okay, so these 5s become 1s, and we're left with r on the left-hand side. And then really this is just negative 5 times 5, which would be negative 25. All right, on the next examples, they're again two-step equations, just a couple different forms of them. Letter A, we need to get w by itself, so we need to remove the negative 2. And we need to get rid of the 2/3. So we're going to add and subtract first. That means we're going to get rid of the negative 2. The opposite of negative 2 is positive 2, or you can be looking at that as a subtract 2. So now we're going to add 2 to both sides. So the 2's are gone. We're left with 2/3 w, and 10 plus 2 is 12. I'm going to go ahead and write that 12 as 12 over 1. And then we're going to multiply here. So we have 3 over 2, multiplying by the reciprocal. So my 2's become 1's, my 3's become 1's, and I'm just simply left with w on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I have 12 and 2 becomes 1 and 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. Letter B, I need to get rid of negative 2, and I need to get rid of the plus 5. So I'm going to start by subtracting 5. Remember, sometimes it helps to draw a line down the equal sign so that when you subtract 5, you need to make sure that one of the subtracting 5's is on one side of the line, and then the other subtracting of 5 is on the other side. So some of my students like to draw that line down the middle just to make sure what they do to one side, they're actually on the other side. So we're left with w over negative 2, and 7 minus 5 is 2. And then since w is being divided by negative 2, we're going to multiply by negative 2. And we get w equals negative 4. All right, letter C is unique because I wanted to do one of these examples specifically because this is a minus x, and I just want to remind you all that's a 1x. So we still need to get rid of the 2, but also this is not what we're wanting. We don't want a negative 1x. We just want a plain positive 1x. So we are going to, in fact, have to find a way to get rid of that negative sign. The one part, the 1x is okay, but the negative sign is not. Okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this 2. And since it's positive, we're going to just subtract it. So the 2 is gone. 5 minus 2 is 3. And notice I'm still left with a negative 1x. Since x is being multiplied by negative 1, I need to divide by negative 1. So my negative 1's go away. I'm left with x on the right-hand side, and 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. And our last problem, we are going to subtract 5 from both sides. 13 minus 5 is 8, and then we will divide by 4 on both sides, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. Remember, when you're filling out your Google form, you first need to be doing these problems on a separate sheet of paper. As you go through the Google form, write the problem down, solve it, show your work. You'll submit your Google form, and then you will also take a picture of your work, and you will submit through Google Classroom. Okay, and I have been including some videos to show you how to do that in case you don't know. Please make sure you watch the video on how to take a picture and submit your picture into Google Classroom.